Hi everyone, we're going to practice the editing and revision process that your teachers have put in front of you for today for finishing up your essay on train time. So what I have on the right hand side of my screen is an essay by a former student, and on the left I have the directions that you're following. And I'm going to work through it, and you're going to work through it with me so you know how to do this to your own writing. So remember, writing is not done just because you typed out your organizer and you hit the last period, right? You have to reread it, revise it, fine-tune your essay. First thing you should always do is you should use the immersive reader and make sure that you've listened to it. So remember to use the immersive reader. I'm just going to full screen for a second so you can see. I'm going to go to View. I'm going to go right to where it says immersive reader. And then it's going to come up like this. If I hit play,
Train time expository essay. Imagine being taken away from your home and
it reads to me word by word. I can do all sorts of things to the settings. Some of the things I need to touch are behind my head right now, but let's go back to smaller screen and maybe I can show it to you. I don't know. But there is a book up in your upper right hand corner, and that can change the language. You can change font size. You can do lots of things. But you're going to read right through this, have it read to you, because a lot of times you'll hear mistakes you don't hear if you don't read it out loud. So I highly recommend that you have to use the immersive reader at least once before you hand it in. So now, looking down my list, I'm going to be highlighting those major things I have to have in there. So thesis statement, topic sentences, restated thesis are going to be yellow. In green, we're going to do our text evidence. And in blue, we're going to do our explanations. And while we're doing this too, we're going to have our editing going on for COPS, right? We're going to be looking for capitalization, overall look, punctuation, spelling. Overall look looks like the child used block formatting. You can tell when a new paragraph starts. They all look the same. The font's all the same. So the O is all set. So, introduction. Where does the thesis go in an introduction? You should have said that it goes at the end. So we need to read it. Do they have a strong hook? Do they have background information? Do they have a thesis statement? Imagine being taken away from your home and forced to go to a boarding school. That's a good hook. It's getting my attention, but it's asking a question. Questions should end in a question mark, right? So I need to go in. That's punctuation. That's my P in COPS. And I need to put in a question mark. This is what happened in the late 1800s when the government wanted to kill the Indian and save the man. All right, thinking about punctuation again. Before every quote, I need what? Do I need a period, a comma, a question mark? I need a comma. You're right. So I gotta put that comma in. In the short story, Train Time by Darcy McNichol, they introduce but. If I double check in the book on the spelling of that name, I need that capital N in McNichol. Major Miles is a person who does what he thinks is right, but does the wrong thing when he sends Aeneas and the other children to boarding school. I see an underline here, so I'm going to click on it. No, they didn't know what I was talking about, so I'm going to ignore them. But I'll always click on those blue and red lines because it'll give you ideas. So, which sentence is my thesis? Right here, I've got my IVF format right here, so I'm going to highlight that in yellow. So I'm going to take my little pen, I'm going to turn it yellow, and there you go. I think it's a pretty good introduction. Throughout the text, Major Miles believes he is doing the right thing for Aeneas. So we know when it's happening, we know who we're talking about, the verb will be believes, and he's doing the right thing. And that goes along with this first point up here, where they say Major Miles is a person who does what he thinks is right. I have to do my first point in my first paragraph. So they did that right. They have a strong topic sentence. Topic sentences will become yellow. So I'm going to highlight that yellow if my mouse will be my friend. Right click and yellow. For example, he is a liar, dishonest, like when he tells Aeneas he doesn't have to go to school, but sends Aeneas anyway. All right, that looks like notes from class, but it doesn't look like the student put in a quote. So I got to bring my arms in, and I got to add in a quote because I can't highlight a quote right now with just random line numbers around a paraphrase. So I need to go into the book to get the quote. So the student does have the line numbers. So I'm going to go into the book, like we talked about, right here. Here I am in the book, lines 146 to 150, said there was a quote. So we are trying to correct. Let's move the book over. All right. So we're trying to, he said he's a liar because he tells him he doesn't have to go, but he sends him anyway. So we need to have the quotes in there that prove this. Why no Aeneas if you don't want to go? So right there is when he tells him he doesn't have to go. So we could grab that quote and add it in, right? So I'm going to copy that quote. For example, he is a liar and dishonest when he says, comma before every quote, quotation marks, pop in my quote. I'll have to fix the font later to bring that overall look back, comma, I can be much more, quotation marks, parentheses, that is line, I got to count down, so 141, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is line 146. And then, actually, yep. And then we can say then he sends, what are those words? See? Great to have the computer. He sends Aeneas anyway. And then that's the whole section. So I can have a mixture of paraphrase. And that's all going to be, and see, look, oh, I forgot that essence says. So that helped me. I've got a double quotation mark, so I can get rid of that. And then this is going to become the color green, because that's the color I'm going to make my evidence to prove that I have at least one, if not two would make it stronger, pieces of evidence for each quote. It means that when he tells Aeneas that doesn't want to go, that when he tells Aeneas that he doesn't want to go to boarding school, he doesn't have to, but he lied and made him go anyway. Did that sound right to you? It means that when he tells Aeneas that he doesn't. So I think we're going to say that he doesn't. That means when Aeneas, right, tells him that tells him, see, we're going to make mistakes, that he doesn't want to go to boarding school, fixing my mistake here, tells him that he doesn't want to go to boarding school, he says Aeneas doesn't have to, but he lied and made him go anyway. Okay, is it fully explained? Does it make more sense? Once it's fully explained and make more sense, we make it blue. And then you're going to do the same thing to the next body paragraph. And then in the conclusion, you're going to read it over and you're going to highlight that restated thesis statement. So this is what you're doing. You're working through it, you're breaking down, you're making sure you have everything you need to have a strong essay so that it makes sense to your reader. Reach out if you need help. Good luck.